Okay, I'm gonna do a off the cuff video about scales. If there's anything that permeates the guitar world online, it's scales. Real quick, I've been playing guitar for 52 years. I taught way back in high school. About 5 years ago, I had a hand condition that prevented me from playing. That got better. I started back playing again. I took 5 lessons in 1972 at the age of 11, and then I got thrust into a folk group. And so now that I'm retired, I'm first of all, I don't care about becoming a YouTuber and making a fortune. I wouldn't want to know what to do with it. I'm blessed that God lets me wake up every morning, and that I have family and kids and him. So I do this to help, but I was not totally ignorant of scales, even without all the resources we had and only 5 lessons. I knew what scales were. I did. My instructor did give me a staff notebook, and I did learn to write a few notes and things like that, but I never got into advanced theory. And and then life came along, the Air Force, 3 kids, on and on and on, running businesses. My wife, a night shift neonatal nurse, several things. So the love I've always had for a guitar had to be put on hold, like many people. And so now that I'm retired, I want to teach my grandkids. I want to help others. I have a private Facebook group where many of us try to come together to help others. So scales. I've heard everything about scales, and it's like everything else in life. There's always the expert that their way is the only way. It is the only way, and by gosh, they know what they're talking about, and this is why. Well, that ain't me. I may or may not know what I'm talking about. The only thing I can tell you is what I've been exposed to and what I have seen as a retired journalist that has done a deep dive into what's online. So, scales are something that I wish people that taught guitar would at least familiarize students with why you may need scales, that they're the heart of music, that they're the backbone of music. Because there's all kind of resources out there. For instance, these are some great little cards. There's an A minor scale, and to initially put that in front of a student, all kind of things are going to pop in their head. And these are great cards. So if you're the owner of these cards, I bought them. I like them. You delivered exactly what you said you were going to deliver. And I'm using these to show how a possible new student is just going to be lost. I mean, that they see this, they don't in the first place know which way to read. They don't know if that's the nut up there. They don't know which one is the bottom string, which one's the top string, which direction. They were never taught to read them from left to right, down. That they were never taught how to read a scale at all. They don't even know what they're getting into, and they don't know why either. So and then there's all other kind of resources, and this is a great resource. If you know something about scales. But do we ever demystify what the Dorian mode, the Lydian, the Aeolian, and all that, the Locrian, and all that really is? You put this out to somebody studying scales, and this is a great resource. But then to somebody that doesn't know what you're talking about, they're immediately going, "Well, wait a minute. Is that the thick E string on the top? Where's the note? What fret are they on? What is this, that, the other?" And people that know are sitting there going, and shaking their head. But if you don't know, you don't know. And And you don't have to be so snobby about it. I mean, the people that I really enjoy online, and there's a lot of them. There are some people just like many great guitarists that were trained in music. They did get advanced music theory and training, but they're not snobs, and they're willing to share with others and to help others. I'll never forget, like I said, I was in a folk group. We actually cut an album. I was on the back cover of a album as the lead guitarist, but I'll never forget when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, the lead guitarist, my age, that wouldn't show you anything. They're like, no, I don't want to give away my secrets. I don't want to be around people like that. If that's the way you are, well, good for you. Do what you need to do. Maybe you're trying to make a living. Everybody's got their thing. Everybody. But that's not my thing. My thing is try to help people. So you can just get so bogged down in scales. I mean, when I started looking to figure out how to teach my grandchildren, I've got flashcards. I've got things I printed off the internet. I bought books. I bought charts. And these are good things. I could do a review on every one of these things. This is a neat little thing that, that is available. I may talk about that later, but that's not the point of this video. It's not to give you. The point of this video is to show you there are so many resources out there, one right after another. There's great lessons. That there's people that do all kind of things, but it may or may not fit you. So I'm going to give one little small bit of advice, and I know it can be ripped and shred, and here's going to come all the experts, and you're probably saying, well, you're trying to be an expert. You need to figure out what you want. At the heart of scales is the music. And within the music, we often can find the music. I've heard people, all you need to learn is the A minor pentatonic. All you need to learn is the blues scale. All you need to learn is this. Well, how do you know what everybody needs? How could you possibly know that? You know what worked for you. Share. And if you get paid for it, that's fine too. Because I'm going to tell you, I bought some of these online courses, and some of them did have some great secrets. But they don't have a right to tell me it's the only thing that I need to know. They don't know what I need to know. I don't know what you need to know. We're all where we are, and we all want to do different things. Some of us only want to learn 2 or 3 chords, play some songs, and move on. And there's nothing in the world wrong with that. And you've heard me say that in some of my other videos. So where to begin? Well, you know what? I was one of these people. I'm a retired journalist and newspaper publisher. So I had a hunger my whole life for words. If somebody put a word in front of me and I didn't know what it meant, man, I was running to the dictionary. I've got so many dictionaries loaded up on my phone. I can't stand to hear a word and not know what it means. I just can't stand it. It's like, I feel like, well, I had an opportunity to know what that is and I let it pass. So maybe try as a possible consideration to help you on your journey, wherever it is, to be hungry. Watch some YouTube videos, but watch them without the anxiety. Maybe you still don't know what you want. Well, I want to be the world's greatest guitarist. Yeah. I remember when I was you know what? I am perfectly happy with where I am. I am perfectly happy at the delight that I get if one of my grandchildren learns something from me. So here's what I'm going to suggest. Step back. Slow down. Learn what a scale is. When you hear these words, a chromatic scale, a diatonic, go look it up. Expose yourself to the language. I have taken so many Spanish courses. I used to buy the books, Kindle books, this, that, and other, what have you. And I finally realized that unless I'm around some Spanish speaking people, I'm just toying with it. And so I toy with it enough to be able to tell, I know what a banjo is and how to tell somebody where they need to go because they need to go. So, expose yourself. Now, if I was going to pick one scale, and I realize I can start the war of scales right now because everybody knows, and they are the only one that knows, and by gosh, they can prove it because they're the greatest guitarist in the world, and everybody knows. Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that. Maybe start with just learning as much as you can about the C major scale. Now, I realize you can make the arguments, no, you shouldn't have put them on that. You should have started with this. You should have started with that. When you do the C major scale, first of all, you're going to have to learn how to read the scale, so you got to go down that path. But you're going to expose yourself to a scale that actually plays open strings. Something a lot of people went, what? I thought a scale you had to press. You're actually going to expose yourself if they learn some musical notes that the C major scale has a C chord in it. You're going to expose them to what many were exposed to as a child, 7-note and 8-note scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa. Something that many of us were exposed to, and that'll be familiar to your brain. So step back, just slow down, be hungry. And you may decide, I don't want nothing to do with scales. Or you may decide, this is pretty neat. I find this finally, this trick this person showed me about a pattern. Well, we can memorize patterns just like we can memorize scales, or we can learn and we can see the beauty of how music is woven together, or we can just play some songs and have fun and share with each other and be grateful for the gift of creativity that God gave us. So, again, I'm going to hold the comments. I don't do this to start wars. I don't. They're just suggestions that may help, they may not help. But you know what? God bless you on your musical journey, one way or the other, and happy picking.